motion.
Okay.
I was just arguing a point that I think we should postpone it till September and not pull it completely.
Okay. I'm in favor of pulling it completely, but I think it's been valuable to the discussion that's taken place to get to this point. I personally have heard from many residents who are not in favor of this approach. The multifaceted thing, yes, but many of the residents I've spoken with prefer that the township not get involved in this and let the schools handle it. And now that I've learned in a lot more depth what the schools are doing, the schools have a very comprehensive program, and there is a lot to their education of the students, prevention, intervention. They even have a program in the schools for kids who are already hooked, and you know, the sort of recovery from substance abuse type of intervention, which is really important and really needed. So my other concern was with the penalties. I felt that the reference to the standard statute of penalties, the up to $2,000 fine and 90 days in jail, I realized from the discussion that it was unlikely that someone in the 18 to 20-year-old age group would be on the receiving end of one of those penalties, but I'm not comfortable signing off on something that would allow it, even in theory. And in doing background research on this, I did come across other ordinances that have much less fines. So if it is ever reintroduced, the penalties would be something that, to me, are very important to look at.
Are the penalties the reason why you're going to vote to pull it? Because the penalty, we can amend the ordinance just like we came back and amended the EDAC ordinance with different language to address that issue. As we've discussed, we can put our own penalties specific to this ordinance right in the ordinance and not reference that other statute.
That's not the only reason, but that's one of the reasons.
Mm-hmm.
If you would, I think everyone's intentions are good on this. I think we all want the same thing, and that's to reduce the use of vaping from teens and young adults, and for any adult really, or anyone really. But I think since its introduction, we have made progress, and I see that, Mayor, if your goal is to reintroduce something or introduce something in September, we can still do that even if we withdraw this ordinance as is, because I think what we all agree now is that, or the majority would agree that we're not ready for this ordinance as it stands right now. And I think if we continue to do our due diligence moving forward and taking a multifaceted approach and making some compromises, then we can come up with a stronger ordinance if necessary, or if the state takes action, later on in this year, then we can reevaluate where we are and where we stand. So I don't see withdrawing this ordinance tonight as a defeat to your goal. I think we can, you can always introduce another ordinance with different factors now that we've learned over the past 5 months. And I agree that we should welcome more input from residents, from professionals, and from folks from the health services too. Yep.
If I could say a few.
Hey, John, you go.
As a parent of an addict, recovering addict, the term was used that many children are addicted to this already. This ordinance would not stop the addiction. Once the children are addicted, it's done already. So creating programs, and that's not our specialty, to treat children that want to recover from this addiction is to be left to programs like Daytop and other facilities such as that, to create programs to help children to not be addicted. What I think, and as I mentioned the last time, the only way to fix this is to ban the substance altogether. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. The other thing that we can do, which, yes, children become resourceful and find things that they want to find, is to make the fines for those that sell to children, whether they're stores or there are other people that go into the stores and buy it and sell it to these children, make the fines not 90 days, but 90 years that you go to jail. If you want to stop it, make the fines that strong. That's the way that we can make something like this work, and that we can protect some of the children from getting involved in these types of issues. But once the addiction is there, it's too late. And this ordinance does not stop that. Because if kids want to try it, they're going to try it. And as we heard in the last presentation, it only takes, I think, 5 cartridges, and they're addicted, and it's done. And those 5 cartridges, they can go through it in 2 or 3 days. So that's the scary part of it. And so once the children are addicted, then this ordinance, we will be seeing these children walking down the streets and getting stopped by police officers and doing, whatever happens with the underage drinking as well. So I think if we're going to pass any type of an ordinance, the most important ordinance that we can do is to fine extremely heavily those that sell the products to our minors.
I agree, because we did a little research, and I believe there's only 2 institutions that are purveyors of these substances in the township. There were maybe 8 or 10 in Morristown itself. I'm not making this less of a problem than it really is. I think it's a dangerous problem. I think if, God forbid, the Assembly or whatever it is, if they pass legalizing marijuana in this state, it's going to just exacerbate with the pipes and stuff they use. And I just think we have to think that there is so much more that we should be doing. We have to promote public awareness. We have to have comprehensive programs and thought processes as to how we're going to educate. And I think Jeff said it very well before. We need to educate everybody as to what it is that we're doing here. Schools in and of themselves